Gen Z can't afford to move out of their childhood bedrooms. And this is not theoretical. This is now the Wall Street Journal reporting on this. And it's being echoed in my comments like this one. I love being 26 years old, having a full-time job and a master's degree, and still living at my parents' house. Our parents built their lives in an economy where one job and one mortgage could secure a home. Now, Gen Z graduates at the top of their class are sending out hundreds of job applications, getting a full-time job, and still are not able to make enough to move out of their parents' house. Because rent, unexpected expenses, and healthcare costs are draining every cent from paychecks before the next month even starts. Even the parents are reporting the same thing to the Wall Street Journal. There is no way that she could afford to move out. Housing costs are skyrocketing. Healthcare is a financial trap. Entry-level jobs are demanding years of experience, and wages are just not keeping pace. So from a very honest perspective, young adults are not failing, but the system is definitely failing them.
So 2025 is almost over. We're just a few days away, and that's a good thing. Really, that's a good thing. We actually thank God for that. But in this video, we're going to be looking at the economy, the US economy right now. And honestly, a lot of people are struggling, as you are going to see in this video. A lot of people are struggling and complaining. You know, this is actually a time where people are supposed to be getting more jobs because of overtime, season jobs, and stuff like that. You get what I mean? But the thing is, a lot of people are actually losing their jobs, and the economy is not really smiling at a lot of people right now.
So the statistics of Black Friday shopping have come out, and a lot of it shows that there was an increase in spending for Black Friday sale. I think like around $8 billion was generated during this Black Friday, which is more than last year and I believe the year previous to that. And you might be thinking, oh, that means the consumer economy is getting better and people are doing much better. Until you actually break it down, and it spells a lot more of a sinister situation for our economy. Currently, our economy is K-shaped. And what K-shaped means is that you're going to see certain trends going up this way while other trends and other demographics going down this way, creating like a... And what we're actually seeing is amongst working class, amongst the shrinking middle class, we're seeing consumer spending decline, whereas we're seeing amongst the upper class and the 1% consumer spending increase. And in fact, I think 70% of our consumer spending in this country currently is being propped up by the upper class and the 1%. And what you saw in the Black Friday sales, which is a little separate from this K graph that is going on, is that you did see working class and middle class spend more, but they're spending money they don't have. With a lot of the purchases being done with a pay later scheme, with like these, pay for installments through either PayPal or Klarna, all these companies that do it. I think there was like a 47 increase of people using Klarna, which is like a installment payment. Whereas around 60% of the shopping was done on credit cards, with the vast majority of those people going to pay the minimum off of those credit cards because they can't afford overall the money that they spent for Black Friday sale. That doesn't show a healthy economy. It shows an economy of people who are still trying to participate in our system, specifically with Black Friday and holidays coming up and all these things that they need to get for their family to enjoy and spend time with their family for the holidays, but they're doing it on borrowed credit.
Gen Z is lazy and just needs to work harder. The second you bring up how hard it is to survive in the US's economy, that's what people say, oh, just work harder. You just need to work harder. The whole work harder rhetoric is just hollow moral judgment when hard work doesn't yield comparable reward anymore. It places all of the blame onto the individual instead of addressing the real systemic issues. It ignores the differences between generations. What was feasible in 1970, 1980, buying a house on a single income, low renting prices, low tuition, simply doesn't map to reality now. Expecting Gen Z to pull themselves up by their bootstraps completely ignores how the boots have been redesigned to be bigger and heavier and harder to pull up. For example, the housing prices have skyrocketed while wages have barely risen. In 1970, the home price to medium income ratio was about 3.2. Today, it's over doubled at 6 times or more depending on where you live. The slight increase in wages does not match the rapid growth of the cost of living. So this small increase in wages translates to less real purchasing power, especially when you factor in housing, healthcare, education, debt. All of these costs have risen exponentially while the wages have barely increased.
The fact that you can legally get paid $7.25 an hour in many parts of this country is absolutely criminal. Imagine you work like a 10-hour shift. That's $72.50. And that's a pre-tax total. What do you get after taxes? 50 to 60 bucks? You can literally work 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and get $55? That's insane. Yet our politicians make six figures for making life terrible for everybody.
So a lot of Americans are not crazy. The United States is in a cost of living collapse. But because we're not in a GDP collapse, gross domestic product, economists keep on saying everything is fine. And that's the disconnect. GDP measures how well corporations and the wealthy are doing, not how well the average American is doing. Right now, over 8.2 million people are unemployed, more than the population of New York City. And 5 million are so burnt out, they've stopped even looking for work. Manufacturing is still declining. Retail is cutting hours to avoid paying benefits. Workers are exhausted while corporations hit record productivity, and workers see none of it. Inflation has slowed, but prices never dropped. Food is up 19% since 2021. The average rent is over $2,000. Your rent payment now looks like a mortgage, and your grocery bill looks like rent. This isn't prosperity, it's suffocation.
And this woman's in Congress. Amy Klobuchar says, under President Trump, electricity prices are surging, up 11%, leaving millions behind on their utility bills with past due balances at an all-time high. American families are deserving better, or American families deserve better. This is why I say these people are intellectually dishonest. She doesn't care about anything but attacking Donald Trump. All right, guys, I want you to look at this chart. All right, I've zoomed in a little bit more. I want you to look at the dates or the year stamps at the bottom. 2022, 2023, 2024, and then the beginning of 2025. Who was the president for 95% of this chart? Joe Biden. And Joe Biden was president before part of this chart. Again, this is why I don't take these people seriously. 95% of this increase took place under Joe Biden. She's silent about that. Then she's going to come onto X and try to attack Donald Trump when 95% of the increase on this chart came under a Democratic president. You're going to come say American families deserve better when the vast majority of the increase that we see on that chart came under her own party's leadership. They don't care about being intellectually honest or even intellectually consistent. They do not care about that. They care about trying to attack Donald Trump and score political points against Donald Trump. That is what they care about. You can't, with a straight face, accuse the other side of prices increasing under them when 90% of the chart, the prices were increasing under you, and then say American families deserve better when you weren't saying this when the prices were drastically increasing under your party's leadership.
So this is bad. This might be one of the most obvious signs that the U.S. economy is in a lot more trouble than we thought. In early summer 2025, the government told us the jobs market was still growing. They reported that the U.S. added. Now, to put this in context, the U.S. needs to add somewhere between 80 to 100,000 jobs per month just to keep up with population growth. But just a couple days ago, the Bureau of Labor Statistics came out and quietly changed those numbers. Now, that's not that big of a deal. Revisions happen all the time as the government collects more data, but this revision was huge. This was one of the biggest 2-month revisions since the 2008 financial crisis, and it's second only to 2020. And if you actually exclude the jobs added in healthcare, actually saw a net job loss. Now, why is that such a big deal, right? It's a big deal because in a lot of recessions, the first sign is not a stock market crash or a wave of layoffs. Instead, it's a spike in unemployment.
Hey Americans, what are we going to do in the next couple of years? The cost of living keeps going up. Meanwhile, the employment rate doesn't tell the whole story, like ghost jobs or new college graduates not getting jobs out of college. The cost of living can't keep going up when people aren't getting paid enough, the people who actually do have jobs, and then we're not getting new hires. Something has to break in the economy eventually, and I'm not sure what it is, but we have to pull ourselves out of this hole. The new jobs report just came out and the numbers do not look good at all. I'm telling y'all, something's gonna break. We gotta figure something out. We have to have money circulating in the economy for it to run. I should never have people in my comments saying things like, I have 10 years of experience, a master's degree, and I work at Texas Roadhouse serving people lunch, living off of tips.
Breaking news, as of now, 22 states are in an official recession. This means that for a vast portion of Americans, we are facing economic hardship. So don't let economists and Fox News reporters tell you we're fine, we're not in a recession, because we are and we have the data to prove it. Recession is often characterized by lack of job opportunities as well as persistent economic hardship lasting more than a few months. Current estimates suggest that 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Many people are struggling to put food on the table each day. States currently in or on the brink of recession include Oregon, Georgia, and Illinois, where I currently live. There has been a significant decline in economic activity in these states that has lasted for more than a few months. The craziest thing is that the District of Columbia, or DC, the capital of the country, is one of the territories that's hit the hardest right now. But why? Largely because of Trump's economic plan and the tariffs. So many politicians are lying to us right now by saying that our economy is the greatest in the world, especially those on the right. And I want you to know right now that no, you're not crazy. Yes, the economy is worse. Yes, it is harder to get a job. And yes, it is because of the person who is in office right now, as well as various other factors.
Is anybody actually comparing what they paid for groceries in December when Biden was still in office to what they're spending today? I just did. And then I took it a step further. And now I am livid. I am so livid. So I only looked at 9 items that we purchased from Kroger's based on our online receipts to what those products sell for today at my Kroger's. 9 items. Our eggs went up $2. A bag of salad went up $1.70. Favorite chocolate bar went up 80 cents. The bacon we like went up 80 cents. Tomato paste, 10 cents. Hand soap, 30 cents. Italian bread, 50 cents. Mushrooms, 20 cents. Can of mushrooms. Butter, 50 cents. That adds up to $6.90 more for just those 9 items. Now, we buy those regularly, but let's just say we only buy them once a month. We are paying, since Trump took office, $83 more a year on these products than when Biden was in office. And I only stopped at these 9 products.
Yeah, so like you all already know, and as I stated in the beginning of this video, the year is coming to an end. And honestly, with what is happening right now, I believe that everybody just needs hope. And this hope is not something that you're just going to be trusting the government for. This hope is something that you're going to have to bring to yourself and to other people to know that it will get better, and not just that it will get better because the government is necessarily going to do something about it. It will get better because you are going to help yourself, and by helping yourself, and I don't say this to mean that you're not doing enough, but what I mean is that in this period, the best thing you can do for yourself is to encourage yourself, is to speak hope to yourself, is to encourage other people. If you can, as I said in my other video, if you're in a position where you can help somebody, please do. All right, please do. Just buying that burger for that person, just paying for that coffee for that person might just be the hope that person needs to hear. All right, you speaking hope to yourself might just be what you need to hear. Probably you've heard motivational speeches from a lot of people, and that's good, but you actually need to push yourself, that to make yourself believe that it's going to get better. All right, it's going to get better. And another thing is that if you have the opportunity to improve your skills, if you have the opportunity to learn it, we are in a we are in a season right now, we're in an era right now of AI, where I believe everybody is aware of this. All right, and as we're going to see in another video, AI is taking a lot of jobs from a lot of people. And the thing to do now is not just to sit and keep quiet. Massive layoffs are happening every day. All right, this is not some, don't just believe that, oh, it's not going to come to me, it's not going to come. It may not, but it is happening to a lot of people. All right, so it's important that you learn a higher value skill. Since AI is what's taking a lot of taking jobs from a whole lot of people, the best thing for you to do right now is to learn how to use AI. The only people who are not going to be affected by this AI surge are the people who have mastered how to make use of it. So irrespective of, remember, I'm still talking about hope, irrespective of the fact that a lot of people are losing their jobs, and that's very, very sad. All right, because businesses are trying to cut down cost. All right, because of the economy is not really doing well right now. All right, so the best thing for you to do is, since it is people are losing jobs, a whole lot of jobs because of AI and companies trying to cut down costs. The best thing for you to do right now, as I stated before, is to learn how to make use of these AI softwares, these AI, whatever it is, all right, that the people do with AI. Learn how to do it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you can just pick out a particular time in a day or a particular time in a week that, oh, since this is how the world is going now, the best thing for you to do is not to live in the previous age. All right, right, the best thing to do right now is to try to catch up. That's the only way to stay relevant. Where is the economy going to? Where is the economy leaning towards? All right, and everybody, it's obvious for everybody, it's AI. People are using AI for their businesses right now, for everything. Very soon Photoshop, that is very good, is going to be out of date, because we are seeing mad designs now with AI. I don't know if some of you may not be able to relate, some of you may be. All right, but what I'm saying is that learn a valuable skill, right? Learn something that can keep you relevant. Don't just be like every other person. All right. And I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting to hear your testimonies, to see your results. I'm trusting that one day somebody is going to write in the comment that, hey, you know what, I wasn't doing very well before, but now I'm doing very well. Honestly, that will be a joy to see.